Hey everybody, it's the Wargaming Guy, and welcome to the game I said I wasn't going to get, but now I got it. Anyway, and that of course is Burden of Command, if you're wondering what we're in here. I have just seen a little bit of this, and I thought I would take you through some of the this game in the opening scenarios because they do something in the campaign. Rather, you can't play scenarios till you've played through the campaign, but they do something really interesting here. Now, at this point, the only campaign you got is the Cotton Balers, so obviously we'll start there. I don't want to go super heavy on the story, but at the same time, I mean, this is really what this game is. So we're going to go for balanced here and have some story. So rallying will remove a lot of suppression from a fresh unit, but it will also consume all their orders. The First Mile, 21st September 1942, Virginia. This campaign occasionally shows disturbing images of graphic violence intended to convey the true burden of war. I have not really seen anything so far on what I've seen on YouTube about that, but we'll find out. So it's not going to bother me.
Hello, this is Luke Hughes, lead designer for Burden of Command, and I'm breaking through the fourth wall today, ouch, to thank you. Thank you for taking a risk on something new, a leadership RPG. Now I imagine you're here hoping to test your mettle as a leader, emotionally, morally, tactically, in World War II. For us to give you that experience, it means a risk for you. What's the risk? Well, a new approach obviously requires a learning curve, and we all know learning curves can produce confusion, hell, even frustration, and playtesting has shown there is a learning curve for Burden. Two kinds. The easier part, where you learn new mechanics, not tried before, and then the much harder ones, where we break some of your likely pretty ingrained assumptions about how, for example, repeated shooting will kill an enemy unit. We instead do something called the 4Fs, which we'll get into later. The point is, I'm going to be breaking in occasionally here to help you with video demonstrations, along with some design explanations about why we break these conventions.
That's
remember,
interesting.
It's all to give you a credible leadership role-playing experience. And hey, we know these fourth wall break-ins may be jarring at times, but extensive playtesting has shown these videos can really help your journey. So please, keep an open mind, and hey, Cotton Baler, good luck out there.
Shouldn't there be an I in that to be Bale? Anyway, I've never seen a game do this before, so this way. So that's pretty interesting. So here we are, Camp Pickett. Let's just learn a little bit more about the game. So here we go. Hello and welcome to Burden of Command. You're about to embark on the Odyssey of the Cotton Balers of the U.S. 7th Infantry Regiment, World War II. We hope you'll find this to be an immersive tactical leadership experience. The history behind the fiction has many sources, but foremost of these is The American Courage, American Carnage, which I have not read, by John McManus. His writing and interviews were the inspiration that put this project into motion. A reprint of his book is set to be released in this month, April of 2025. And then they do mention some other sources. They don't really give any names for them, but there's music, there's all these things they put together. So we won't go into this, but we'll just go ahead and commence the journey. Here we go, September, Camp Pickett, morning dew dribbles down the bright leaves of the forest. Ahead, Platoon Sergeant Bennett leads the way beneath the canopy. That should be the hill, he notes and gestures towards the rise to the east. Bit of a walk, but we're close. On his back is slung the standard issue American M1 rifle, a near twin to your own. Now you got three choices. You said that 10 miles ago, Sergeant. I should take another compass bearing. It sounds like he knows where he's going. Now, these choices, this doesn't show it, but as we get a little further into the game, you gain and lose prestige and other things by the choices that you make in these conversations. So, since I'm a firm believer in trusting your NCOs, I'm going to say it sounds like he knows where he's going. Now, let's go ahead. There's no reason to second guess him. If a man can't admit he's wrong, he's definitely wrong. Bennett's been in the Army since before the big draft of 40. So, now we get to choose our character. I've been around the Army for a while too, so you get +1 prestige. Prestige is how much influence you'll have over with your superiors after a scenario is over. I'm a recently commissioned lieutenant. You're a 90-day wonder, plus trust is +10. Trust is how well your men react to your orders within a scenario. 10 trust is worth approximately 1 prestige or loyalty. Or I'm a reservist. Loyalty +1, background set to reservist. Loyalty is how much influence you have over the men. So I want to be a butterball. I want to be a brand new guy. I want to be a 90-day wonder, and because there were so many of them in all our wars, but World War II in particular. So let's do that. Okay, the ink is hardly dry on your commission, at least by regular Army standards, but 90 days of intense training have made you feel like you could take on the world, which is good since the Germans and the Japanese seem to be busy trying to conquer everything. The U.S. has yet to send many divisions overseas, but really, it's only a matter of time. Time to move.
So here I am in boot camp somewhere in Virginia, 1942, just like you will be soon. I'm going to start with our first concept that will be familiar and unfamiliar, your first learning curve aspect. So, like games like XCOM and frankly many tactical games these days, we use action points. We call them orders, and they have the green dots. So this leader has 4 action points. And no surprise, when he say moves, he spends an action point, which you can see happening there.
Okay. The U.S. Army will go to war in earnest soon. As an officer, your duty will be to lead the men of your platoon. You just have to find them first. Mouse over the book icons for history or image notes. Okay. Here we go. Left click and select up here. You can move the camera too. Left click to select the leader. Right click to move the leader. Okay. WASD keys move the camera. Use the scroll wheel to zoom in or out. Not terribly useful right now, but it will be later. Okay. So we are going to left click on unnamed. And we're going to right click to put him there. That seems pretty simple. Left click. Okay. The leader just expended an order. Closer now, the hills and the mountains are further away than they seem. The gray circle that you saw float up indicated the expenditure of an order. Burden of command runs on orders. Every unit has some, and you can't do anything but get shot at without one. Orders are spent to move a unit. You can usually move a unit 3 times. Left click the leader. Right click to move the leader here. And there he goes. I'm assuming that's me since it says unnamed. I don't know. White highlighted hexes indicate where you can move. Lighter colored hexes indicate what you can see. Ooh, that is not as distinct as I would like it. I wish they had made this a little more clear. I mean, it's kind of is, but whatever. Okay, it's a good view. You can see a few stragglers from your first platoon. Looks like the kitchen patrol is still on their way to the obstacle course. Sergeant Bennett notes, if we let them dog things, they'll never get there before dinner. I'll order them to move up. No change to verbosity. Verbosity is one of the 3 character traits. It reflects how much a leader likes to talk. Oh, we're in trouble with me. Verbosity does not impact the tactical battlefield, but may add personalization to conversations. Yell down at the men, verbosity +1, and wave them forward. Verbosity -1. So one of the, yeah, we already know that. Okay. I don't really know how far away they are. I guess they can see me. Oh, let's just do no change to verbosity. Yeah, we'll do that. All right.
This is a leadership RPG. We're always going to be focused on bringing out leadership aspects.
Okay.
In the Army, leaders are in charge of platoons, which is a group of squads or companies. And so there's a command structure, and we do that too. This is a squad here, part of my rifle platoon. For it to do something, I've got to order it. Or, if you want to make it simpler, activate it. So, did you see an order came up on me? Not just a squad. The squad paid its action point, but I'm just going to say order from now on. But I paid an order because effectively I ordered the squad.
Okay. These 2 green circles indicate 2 remaining orders. Got it. All right. Gain their attention, call them out, call out an order, conditioned by training, they obey. The squad must be activated to utilize their own orders. A leader will spend an order to activate the squad when that squad initially shoots, moves, etc. Once the squad's been activated, they can have enough direction, or they have enough direction, so that they can then expend 2 or even 3 orders without requiring further leader orders. Okay, got a lot of orders around here. Here we go. Left click the squad to select. Moving the squad will cost the leader 1 order. To activate the leader for the turn, the squad itself will consume 1 order to actually move. Okay, so we're going to go here. Yeah, there goes the activate squad thing. Squad activated. Call for double time. Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett asks.
This squad has been activated. The leader no longer needs to pay an order to activate it. So let's move it, and you'll see no action from the leader. He didn't spend another order.
Okay. Order the squad to move again. This time it won't cost the leader an order because he's already activated it. Gotcha. So move the squad. Where am I moving it to? Here? Oh, yeah, of course. All right.
So I'm going to come down there, join my squad, lead, grab them both, and go somewhere. Now this time, they'll both pay an order. But be careful, it's not an activation order. They're both moving. You don't get a free ride. You got to pay for the move too. So, there you go. We're similar to games you're used to. Action points. But in this case, they're really orders, and they involve things like squad activation.
Okay. Here they are. Sergeant Bennett notes as Sergeant Layton, no relation, and his kitchen patrol reach the summit. Layton, can you see the obstacle course from here? Breathless, Sergeant Layton nods in the affirmative. His fellow spud peelers are all but ready to drop. Clearly, they can't go very far with us. If only they were in better shape. They are not part of the coming exercise. Now see this, they don't give you any, like, how this is going to impact things. So, yeah, that's not... All right, we'll just do that. From this height, you can also see a little stream whose serpentine channel marks the bounds of your own training area. Okay, the stream isn't far, which is a good thing. The stream, like other terrain, costs movement points to cross. More movement points to cross than flat open land. You won't always be able to get somewhere in a single order, especially with the squad in tow. One last push should put your boots beside the stream. Spent, however, but in position nonetheless. However, first, you have to detach from Layton's squad. The first left click on the hex selects both units in it. The second left click selects either a leader portrait or a squad below. Do not follow Luke's example in the video, and instead rebel and left-click the leader portrait repeatedly until only the leader is highlighted. You will see the selected portrait or unit be encircled by a pulsing ring. So, okay, so we got pictures down here of this. He's selected, and now he's pulsing both. Oh, no, that's both leader. Left-click the leader until only the leader is selected. When you move the leader out, they will separate from the squad. It shouldn't be they, it should be he will separate from the squad. He's the one guy, unless the sergeant's with him or something. Excuse me, still dealing with this wretched cold. All right, so, okay, so I want to go. It looks like to me we're okay. Let's see if I'm right. Just Lieutenant Unnamed. When do I get to name him? I'm not sure.
Honestly, it would have been simplest to design the game as 1 unit per hex, like many games do. But frankly, it just felt wrong not to have leaders in with their men leading them.
I agree with that.
So we committed to simple stacking. 1 leader, 1 squad per hex.
Okay.
So then how do you manage selection? It's simple. Click any unit in the hex, both select, because you probably want to move both of them normally. But maybe you just want to move the leader this time. Click again. And here I am. So I'll do the same thing again. I'll click the squad, and I go back and forth between just the squad and both.
Okay. Down by the stream. Down by the stream. Let's take a breather. Sergeant Bennett suggests we're almost there. At this point, your leader should be out of orders. 3, to move your leader. 1, to activate the KP squad. The KP squad itself moved twice, the normal amount for a green rifle squad. Orders refresh at the start of a new game turn. Out of orders means we can't do anything. What if I didn't move that squad? Veteran squads have more orders? Let's ask, see what happens. Veteran squads or special combat units might have 3 orders instead of 2. Veteran officers might have 5 orders instead of 4, but let's leave that for later. Everything important in Burden of Command costs an order. Want to move a leader? An order. Want to move a squad? The leader pays an order. Then the squad expends its own orders to take actions. Shooting or assaulting? We'll get to those, but yep, an order. Since there are currently no enemy units around, just pass the round until a new game turn begins. Just pass the round. Oh. There we go. New turn. The forest thins, and at last you spy a hint of civilization. A little wooden bridge that crosses a gully and a low wooden wall beyond it. The clearing should be just up ahead, Lieutenant, Bennett calls. A movement order can span a single hex or 4, but the order cost remains the same. All right, move my leader here. That's it. Okay. The assembly point is a simple one marked by a low retaining wall striped with white. At the side of it, Sergeant Bennett flashes you a grin and stashes the map. There's a figure waiting in the lee of that wall, a fellow officer with the silver bars of a captain on his shoulders and a dreaded clipboard in his hand. You're nearly late, Lieutenant, the field umpire notes. As he regards you, the pencil in his grasp has doomed plenty of officers to obscurity with swift judgment. No excuse, sir. Salute, nod to him. No excuse, sir. Sergeant Bennett lets out a rather less than subtle cough. The field umpire stares at you a long moment, waiting for your forgotten salute. Oh, I didn't know I had to tell him to salute. I just figured he would do it. When you give it, he examines his clipboard carefully for a moment, returns the gesture. That is the correct reply, he notes. We are just going to remain silent. Because sarcasm notes how sharp-tongued the character is. Sarcasm does not have any impact on tactical scenario. Being sarcastic may provide personalized. Yeah, okay, fine. Today you will undertake a leadership exercise consisting of no less than 3 separate field problems. You and your men will be assessed based on the outcomes, including both objectives achieved and casualties sustained. You will take command of your rifle squad and will proceed. Any questions? Is this a live fire? No. There may be an occasional live round fired safely for effect. Wouldn't that make it a live fire scenario then? But otherwise, no. Okay. Budget constraints, Sergeant Bennett remarks softly at your side. No more questions. Mentally review what needs doing. We just need to find the squad, Sergeant Bennett says. Doubt we'll need more than a few waypoints on the map to figure out where they're at. The squad is not far away. This path used the fewest movement points, but doesn't utilize terrain, obviously. Waypoints are vital to using the terrain to your advantage. The route that uses the least movement points is not always the best. Yeah, okay. But this is an exercise. Control right-click to establish waypoints. You got to control right-click and stick to... Okay. With that in mind, lead the way. The mission, finish the exercise before turn 4. The mission for the men is don't get anyone, quote, killed, unquote, in the exercise. Select your leader to move this squad by expending a single... What, do I just click it? Because he didn't tell me to move him. Do I move him and then do that squad? I don't know. Oh, select your leader and move to here. All right, if I read it properly, it would really help. Blam! The field umpire calls out from behind as you move over open ground. Lieutenant Einstein, you moved over open ground where a sniper could see you. That is a potentially fatal risk to take, and a dead leader is no help to anyone else. I didn't even think of it. How stupid can you get? Unless you've got a good reason to avoid moving through cover, you might as well make an effort not to get shot. Right. Waypoints. I did not like that. Okay. Quickly and safely can apparently be two different things. He's right, Lieutenant. There's no point in polishing a turd. The sergeant remarks, best to get moving before someone decides we got shot again. All right, fine. Lieutenant, you are revived from the sniper call. Continue with the exercise. Our squad looks beat, Sergeant Bennett says. It's true, by all appearances. They can't possibly take another step. Some might say their morale is low. Right now, it's dog dick low. Okay. Like they've been suppressed by enemy fire. But they don't have to stay that way now, do they, Lieutenant? What would you suggest, Sergeant? -1 for directness. I could give them a speech. There's my verbosity thing. They will obey my commands. Directness. Consider kicking them. All right, we're going to ask what the sergeant wants. Oh my, look at this. Morale is central. Firefights 50-50 win, blah, 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 blah. They got all kinds of stuff. Bad morale is cowering. So, okay. An order, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett says. And if you go with them and share their risks, then they will follow. If any of them don't, then I'll kick a little ass. All right?
Thank you, Sergeant Bennett. Sergeant Bennett is reminding me I need to teach you about the backbone of your company's performance. It's morale. So here we have a good order squad. It's green, no suppression, has 2 orders, moves about 3 hexes, tries to move under fire, pass the morale check to do that, about 70%. And if it fires at an enemy, 50-50. Now notice those initiative wheels, donuts I like to call them. You really want to win initiative, because if you win initiative, you fire first, you suppress the enemy, reduce their morale, but then their fire back will be weak. Now let's look by contrast at this shaken company. It's yellow. It's lost about half its morale to suppression. First thing to notice, subtly, is it only moves 2 squares forward, can still retreat, because they're more cautious, because they're shaken. Also, let's notice one more thing, only 1 order. So the morale is actually reduced the total quantity of actions you can give this squad. Pretty bad. And guess, if you fire them, not going to go so well. You're going to lose. And the morale check's unlikely. Finally, let's look at these poor guys. About 9 points of suppression. They're red.
Okay,
they're
so
basically
it's
cowering.
green, yellow, red.
They won't
Okay.
even move forward.
Like a
So you
stop
can
sign.
still move
Light.
back to get rallied, maybe behind a hill or in some cover. I wouldn't bother trying to fire. Not going to work. And you can give up on assault. Now, Ryan, let's have a little fun here. This is a 3-star unit, very experienced. What do you notice? It's got 3 orders, not 2. That's a big win. And guess how it's going to do in firefights? Very well. And guess how it's going to do on morale checks? Hey, it doesn't even have to pass a morale check to move under fire. Work hard, Captain. Maybe you'll have units like this eventually. Lead them well.
Rally will remove suppression. It will also expend all the squads, not the leader's remaining orders. Time to rally. Fresh squad, no suppression. This squad has expended an order. It's no longer fresh. Okay. Squad has merely lost an order to suppression. It's still fresh. This squad has expended all the orders it has spent. The fresh status is only determined by whether or not the squad has expended an order. Orders lost to suppression don't count. It seems a little strange to me, but okay. Orders expended for any other reason do. To rally, a unit must not have expended any orders during this turn. It must be fresh. Your men want guidance and leadership, and that's why you're here with them. Most leaders must be grouped up with a squad to utilize certain orders. A captain would be an exception to that, but you do not worry about that right now because all you have currently is a single lieutenant. Select the leader, then rally the squad. Okay, so we're going to select the leader. So That's bolster. That's rally, apparently. It doesn't say it, but apparently it is. What is that? Restores one order. Okay, well, whatever. Let's just do this one at a time. And then I right-click on the squad. They rallied. Well, that did the trick, Sergeant Bennett says. Once we're organized, we can get on with the exercise. The field umpire tilts his head doubtfully. The men will be ready, but the question is, ready for what? The squad is out of orders. Some choices are merely informative, have no overt effect on gameplay. I've rallied. When can I move? Some choices are, yeah. Trouble with that is moving any number of hexes takes orders, and if the unit is spent or if it is expended any orders, then it's not fresh and it can't rally. Okay. Yes, sometimes you'll want to move a unit away from the enemies before you rally it so that the unit won't get shot up afterwards. All right. If the enemy doesn't interrupt, the men will be ready to move shortly. You indicate as much to the Empire. He holds up a white flag for his opposite number across the field to see. A wave of blue flags are exchanged. The exercise will resume shortly. So long as either side has a leader with an order, the turn won't end unless both sides pass their round without expending any orders. Green dot order available, gray dot order right. Any solid square, morale point empty, gray square equals suppression, red cross square equals stress. Red cross, it's hard to see the cross there, but okay. Every morale point equals 10% effectiveness, 12 morale is 120, 3 morale is 30%. E, okay.
Anyone got a light?
End the round repeatedly to end the turn. Each game turn is broken up into alternating rounds. When both sides pass their round, then that's the end of the thing. So, okay. There we go. 3 turns. Oh, man. You are ready. The men are ready. The enemy is likely ready. The enemy had a round to activate units, but did nothing with it. Interesting that the enemy did nothing in response. Maybe we have surprise on our side. Wait for the Empire to give the go-ahead. Wonder what the clipboard wants to happen next. As if on cue, the field umpire clears his throat. All right, Lieutenant Einstein. The enemy squad is in that house down there, he says, and ignores Bennett as he points. You can hear the clockwork tick of his watch, faint but steady. Deploy your men and take them under fire. And remember, this exercise is timed. Squad versus squad, even numbers. We shouldn't. Well, that's certainly not saying that. I'll say that. Indeed, that should concern you, the Field Empire remarks. We do not want to refight the last war. Okay. Movement in the trees, 12 men and more in olive drab, working their way closer. These are your men, sweaty and dusted from the obstacle course. And at the back is Sergeant Grant urging the stragglers forward. Okay, not in this army. I get you, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett says. We're out here to train so we can fight. And when we're fighting off the Germans, we'll have to fight like we trained. The men may not like it, but they'll sure as hell gripe about it. But Grant over there will get them in gear. I trained him myself. The platoon is together again, if not precisely formed up in the best position. While you consider that fact, the Empire's watch continues to tick. Let's bolster their spirits, Sergeant Bennett says. That always boosts morale, although it doesn't last for long. But maybe it will be just long enough to get... it will be just long enough for what comes next.
Remember Sergeant Bennett's wise comment that morale is the backbone of your company's performance? Well, what do you think the role of leadership is then? Of course, it's to manage that morale. Let's look at your tools. One of them is Bolster. So here we have a good order unit. And if we were to attack, it'd be 50-50 on the attack. It moves 3 squares. It has 70% morale check. But let's bolster it. A lot more movement. Hey, it's going to pass that morale check. And look at the firefight. Bolster enhances an already good unit so it is significantly more effective, especially for firefights. the experience and the trust of the leader comes to bear. Don't make the mistake, however, of thinking of Bolster as sort of a poor man's rally, rally for one action. I've moved the leader down to this shaken squad, half morale, and I'm thinking, well, it's pretty poor for a firefight right now. Maybe I'll bolster it and it'll be fine. Well, there's some improvement. If you studied this, you'd see the suppressed predictions are a little bit better, but you're still going to lose initiative. It's not a rally. If you want a unit with shaken or below morale to improve, rally. Rally, by contrast, fully restores morale for the long term.
Okay.
Of course, it does take a turn to do, so you'll have to pick the time and place for when you rally, for when you bolster, or for when you orchestrate your platoon and company to be effective all at once, rather than dribble in an attack on the enemy.
Bolster order will provide a boost to the morale of the unit until the unit moves, shoots, or does anything else that expends an order. Unlike rally, this does not remove suppression, but a bolster can boost the unit's maximum morale beyond its maximum. Bolster greatly increases initiative in a firefight and the chance to initiate an assault. Okay, so yeah, and that's bolster. And then I left click selects right click. Oh, okay. All right, they're bolstered. We're ready, Sergeant Bennett says. Where to, Lieutenant? We should have Grant march down or go ahead. Should we have Grant march down or go ahead? Time to make a decision. One of two orders remaining. There's a lot of things you might want to order, but there is never enough time for the men to carry those things out. Nevertheless, you prepare to do what you can. Okay, so now I'm kind of on my own. You have 3 squads, only so many orders. Left click to select all units in a hex. Left click a specific unit again to select only that unit. You may also select a lone squad to activate it, even if a leader is not grouped with it. Orders will still be consumed as usual. So we got these guys got 2 orders. They got 1. I've got 3, and the squad has 2. And we need to get down here somehow. Move this squad with waypoints? I don't think it needs, well, to get to here, certainly. It's no big thing. But how far down do we have to go? I forgot how many turns we've got left. Oh, it's turn 3 of 5. Oh. Well, that's all right, actually. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I see it. Go away. Yeah, I guess I was supposed to bolster you. There. That's all right. I think. Okay, can I? No. Nope, I can't do that. I guess does the officer have to be in the hex to do that? Oh, he has nothing left. Shoot. All right. There they are, Sergeant Bennett says as your men pass the word that they've sighted movement in the house. But those darn walls give them better cover than anything we've got. Nearby, the Empire with the clipboard makes a note, a lengthy one. Okay, let's prepare to open fire. Give the men some direction, and the umps will take note, Sergeant Bennett says as the men prepare to place the revealed enemy under their crosshairs. Every little bit helps us build up our fire against the enemy before they can do the same to us. Left click to select the unit you want to open fire, then right click the enemy. This will consume 1 squad order. Are they going to shoot? What did I do wrong? Well, doesn't matter. I guess we're going to shoot you. I don't know how to do this. Do that? Excuse me. I want to shoot. Why won't it? Oh. Okay, I don't have any orders left. Great. What am I missing here? Something, obviously. Yeah, so we're done. We're over the time limit. Let's fire on the enemy. Well, I'd love to if I could. So, we don't want to assault. There, that's how you do it. Okay. I know the Empire was pushing us forward, but our squad just opened fire without a plan, Sergeant. I had a plan. I'll bet we could get as good at the blah, blah, blah. Unsupervised and poorly invigorated fire likely resulted in little suppression, the field umpire remarks. Whistles blow, the exercise halts as the umpires get to work figuring out the damage. Sergeant Bennett waits beside you. Halt the exercise. The field umpire breaks formally, then signs the bottom of the page. Lieutenant, you pushed ahead and did not form up your platoon prior to attack. This would have resulted in some of your men being killed. Just nod. By moving too early, you could maneuver your men into an unwinnable predicament. That possibility is worrisome. See to the men. The Empire's in charge here and of higher rank. There's no point in arguing or protesting, especially not when the platoons need to be organized. Sergeant Bennett falls in as you head back to your platoon. No matter what you chose, that ump was going to find fault. Like being married, but without the fun parts. Heck, I was betting something wrong was the point of the lesson. Moving just one squad ahead of the others was a bold choice, too. Can't deny that. And if it had been an ambush, well, you'd be saving lives. There's no good answer. I thought I did everything right. Nod, sounds true. He's probably had to teach this lesson over and over again. That'd wear on anybody. How to lead. Now, just when things were going well, either. Not just when things were going well, either. And maybe that's why there was no good answer here, because there might not be one over there. All right. Click access to our Bokopedia for tactics, hints, and help. All right. So we're going to call a halt right here because it's getting late for me, and 38 minutes of this is probably enough for you. But clearly, this is going to have a learning curve to it, but it's interesting. And I really like the whole breaking the fourth wall thing. Let me know what you think about that. I wish more games would do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. Obviously, it's a lot of work. So, all right, so here you go. Burden of Command came out yesterday, the 8th, I believe. Came out on the 8th, and you'll be seeing this on the 9th. So hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you want to see some more. I plan on doing some more when I can. My family situation's still all jacked up, so I'm kind of doing this just as I can. So please be patient. Appreciate you being out there. If you haven't subbed, please do. I'd really appreciate that. So everybody take care, and I'll see you later.